Nice.
All right, man. Let me know when you're ready. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Welcome back to Proxy, everybody. And today I am with Dead of Night, and we are going to be talking about the list he is going to bring to Salt Lake GT. How you doing today, Dead of Night?
Salt City GT.
Salt City GT. Okay.
Yeah, out in Syracuse.
Nice.
The home of like Morton Salt. So
I was gonna
there
say,
you go.
like, I thought you were traveling all the way to Utah for this. Like,
No.
like I had it in my mind for the longest time that you were traveling to Utah for it. I was like, that's some
No,
dedication.
it's not too far from me. It's gonna be the third year. Every year it's been growing. We got like 130 players this year, so
Nice. That's
we
epic.
usually attract players from like the surrounding states too a little bit. Some guys from Canada.
Nice. Yeah, I would expect that because you're up in New York, so that makes sense. Right.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Well, you've been talking a lot about warp spiders, and the list that you're kind of creating for the GT is going to incorporate a lot of spiders. What are you thinking about the build, and what do you kind of, want to bring to the GT?
Well, baseline, I want to run 3x5 warp spiders,
Okay.
so we could definitely throw those in there.
Let's throw those in there real quick because we know we're going to run those.
I've been having a lot of success with them.
Yeah.
They've been pretty much my MVP almost every single game.
No kidding. No
like,
kidding, they've been great. Do you want to talk about how, one Exarch killed how many Dark Eldar units of mine?
I think like
4?
three. Yeah, 3 or 4. The Exarch went to
Oh my gosh.
town,
Yeah, that was
and
crazy, dude.
and Proxy shot that Exarch with so many rounds.
He was
He just
riddled
got it
with.
done.
He just had splinter rounds like sticking out of his armor. He didn't give a fuck. He was just like, I
That
survived
lone,
the warp,
just
motherfucker.
that lone Exarch was MVP of the
Oh,
game.
so good. I mean, he turned the tide himself. It was just like a crushing blow to like end all dreams. That yeah.
I
So
spiked with him twice on his shots. Like the one turn, it was like I had 9 shots with him, and the next turn it was 11. I was like, oh my!
that's so
And he's
funny,
just
dude.
slapping devs all over you.
That was
Little
crazy.
T3 Dark Eldars.
That was absolutely crazy. I've never seen something like that. My warp
Me
spiders
Yeah, me
typically
neither.
don't do that. They typically just roll average, and like that was some crazy stuff right there.
It must be a Dead of Night thing. I don't know.
It's definitely a Dead of Night thing, dude, for sure.
All right. Well,
It's your
at least
love
I
for
got
warp
something.
spiders. It's your love for warp spiders. Well, you got 3 units of warp spiders. Now,
Yeah.
what else are you thinking about on the list?
Definitely a wayleaper.
Gotta have the Autarch wayleaper. That's the staple, right? Getting command points and so
Um,
forth.
absolutely. And he's like he does so many things. Like I've used him to just stay at home, of course. You need that unit on your home objective, or like I've used him to just hang out and screen, or like once the game's kind of developed more, turn 3 and on, maybe he'll start to come up and shoot some fusion gun shots.
Yeah.
I don't really ever like to charge with it, which was why I kind of want to go with a weird build for him,
Mm-hmm.
which we'll talk about. Actually, we'll talk about it now if you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Basically, it's Manda Blasters,
Interesting.
Fate's Messenger,
Mm-hmm.
and Starglaive, and Death Spinner. Obviously, we have to have the Death Spinner here.
Right, because he's a spider, right? He's a warp
So
spider.
the theory with this build is, you could kind of play the same game with him, hang out, whatever. But when it's time to come up and hit, he could do some dev wounds pretty easily to just kind of finish off units himself. He's so fast, and
Nice.
I think it could be a neat build, especially if you just get some random support from other warp spiders. They just go pick off a unit together.
For sure. Definitely good against Dark Eldar.
Yeah, Fate's Messenger. Yeah, between Fate's Messenger, maybe a Fate dice and a natural 6. You're looking at some dev wounds out of that, man.
Yeah,
The Star does
for
2
sure.
damage.
You're
So
definitely looking at some. Oh,
I think
absolutely.
you're looking at least 3 to 4 devs guaranteed, almost.
Yeah, 3 guaranteed, right? From the Fate dice and the
Yeah.
Fate's messenger. Yeah, that's good. That's awesome.
So yeah, it's kind of a weird build, but I've
Well,
noticed like running Banshee Mask with the wayleaper, like I never want anybody to charge my wayleaper, so it's never really come in handy for me. Anytime I want to use my wayleaper, I'm the one charging with him. So
nice. Yeah, true.
kind of how I felt about the Banshee Mask, anyways. And if opponent has fights first, the wayleaper's just not going to fight them. That's pretty simple.
Right. I think the way you play your Autarch, just kind of more conservative, I think this build is probably better for that. Anyway.
Yeah. And then when it's time to, put the gas pedal down, he could go up and be pretty aggressive and maybe finish off a land raider that's at 4 wounds.
Yeah, I
Something
like that.
silly.
That's interesting. You can shoot the Death Spinner, Fate's Messenger that, and then run in with the Starglaive and maybe finish it off.
Exactly.
Nice. It's a shame Autarchs don't have grenades.
Right. That'd be
Man,
nasty.
that would
That'd
be
make
so good.
ooh. Ooh.
Yeah.
But yeah, my other character I'm gonna auto run that I've been playing with a lot lately is the Incarne.
Incarne. Nice.
Yeah. I feel like people still don't really know how to deal with it. And also she just between the warp spiders messing with opponent's head and the Incarne messing with opponent's head, their entire game I think is just kind of thrown off because they can realize that like I could be anywhere on the board really at any given time, and it's just a pain in the ass to deal with, and that's
Right.
the entire game for the most part.
Yeah.
So while they're trying to think of that and like think of the whole rest of their game plan, it's a lot. It's a pretty big overload there. And then we got our little wayleaper like that. That's just a random little wayleaper with tricks that comes out of nowhere and just dev wounds something to death. Like what?
Yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah, the Incarne can definitely be difficult to deal with. That's for sure. For somebody who
one of
doesn't know.
one of the biggest things I love about our army is our speed, and I always try to incorporate that anywhere I can. But this particular list is just ridiculous with it, and it shows on the board.
Yeah.
Especially Nexus boards, everything's a lot more condensed and compact.
Right.
A lot of the deployment zones are a little closer together. It makes turn 1 alpha strikes viable.
It very much does. Yeah. The Incarne can definitely do some work on turn 1. Especially with warp sliders.
Yep. Especially if opponent goes first and, say I go second. Huge. They move up and they're just like in range already. Like, come on up.
Yeah, big time. And I mean, if your opponent's
If I see a side of the board or a spot that looks good, I can go kill something and everything's hidden for the next turn. Beautiful.
Yeah. That's awesome. The Incarne, man. Like, that's great that you're running it. Honestly, it's a really cool model as well. And yours is painted
absolutely.
Up really cool too.
I know a lot of people live and die by the Avatar of Cain, but that's not my style, and he doesn't really fit in this list, I don't think.
I think
so.
My problem with the Avatar of Cain, he's great, but he kind of just sits there, like most of the
No,
time.
yeah, exactly. He's great, but like I've also seen him in games where he just gets like kind of ignored, and maybe he's like on the other side of the board or something for no reason. And it's just, I'm not sold.
Yeah, I'm.
And it's just mainly not my play style, but
Yeah,
I understand why he's good.
Yeah, no, he is good, but yeah, the Incarne is really cool. I like both of the Avatars.
No, yeah, for sure. I couldn't. I would never bring myself to run a double Avatar list just because I don't know. That's too many points for me.
You know what's funny? I ran a list like that for fun, where it was like all monsters. I had like a Wraith Knight, Avatar, Incarne, Wraith Lords, Wraith Seers. It was like a monster mash list, and it was really fun, but it sucked. It could not score points. Like it was so difficult. So I mean, basically a list like that, you kind of need to just table your opponent, and that can be difficult nowadays.
I want to go across the board a little bit because I don't want to talk about this. I want to run at least 2x5 striking scorpions.
Okay.
I've really considered running 3x5 because the more I play with them, the more and more I like them.
You like them with the Scorpion's Claw, right?
Yeah, I like the claw.
You know what's funny? Somebody the other day in the comments mentioned this, and I didn't even know this, but apparently the claw is only better mathematically against vehicles, and the biting blade is mathematically better against every other target.
I like the claw.
You like the claw.
I like the strength.
Yeah, the big dick strength. You like it.
Yeah, I mean,
Strength
you
8.
need it. You need it when you're going after like Terminators and.
For sure, dude. That's true. It does help you wound a little bit better against Terminators. It helps you wound a little better against regular Marines. I believe it has a
Yeah,
little bit of extra
if
AP.
you're not assaulting Terminators or striking Scorpions, you're probably wrong. Because they're just gonna eat those Terminators.
Yeah. I mean, well, if you have Karandras, right, you can definitely eat a squad of Terminators
Oh
with
yeah.
a squad of striking Scorpions, for sure.
I mean, the 5-pack will kill 2 to 3 probably. I would say.
That'd be a stretch. Without
Fate,
Karandras,
Fate dice, and rerolls, baby.
how could
We're
it?
gonna get there, Proxy.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I guess you could use the Fate dice on that. I just would hope for a lot of sixes. By the way, I would definitely like if the opportunity arose and I got a free charge into a squad of Terminators with squad of Strike
No,
Scorpions. I'm doing
honestly,
it.
yeah.
I'm doing
Two
it.
by 5. I think 10 Scorpions could probably mess up the 5-pack. But yeah,
Oh
Karandras
yeah.
and 5-pack definitely.
Oh, the 10 pack could definitely mess up a unit of Terminators. Probably win over a couple turns too.
Which is another thing I've considered doing. Maybe just run 1 by 5, 1 by 10.
That's
And
interesting.
then, like, this is going to lead me into my next character I'm going to run as Karandras.
Interesting. I've never, you know what's funny? I've never wanted to run a unit of 10 just because I figure like it's so, if you infiltrate them, it's so first turn based, you know? But if you put them in a wave serpent, then you can't guide
Potentially,
them,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like you almost have to run them on foot so you can guide them,
No, yeah,
you know?
exactly. That's the goal. Run them on foot.
You know,
Yeah.
because with guide they just rip things a new one.
Yeah, so yeah, that puts the Farseer Skyrunner in question at that point. But
Right,
I mean, that's saying we're running the 10-pack like
right,
that.
right. We got 2 squads of 5
You'd
for
have to
now,
run the yeah.
which I think is good, right? Because then you could potentially put Gondors in one, and then you could potentially infiltrate the other.
Oh yeah,
You know.
oh yeah. We got to add Karandras. He's our next one.
Okay, so we have the Phoenix Lord of the Striking Scorpions. He's awesome.
Yeah,
Super good
and
character.
then kind of in this base that I've been running is 2 Falcons, and
Okay, let's go ahead and
I've
add
been
those in.
running. Yep, I've been running Karandras in the 5-pack in one of them, and it's so hard to get it off sometimes because somebody will blow it up, or I'll be forced to dismount them for some strange reason, like to do an action or something silly, you know.
Right.
And I've noticed they're pretty good anyways, just going into melee themselves. So I don't like the Falcon. The reroll's sick, but I think the best thing about the Falcon is they're safe, kind
Yeah.
of for that first turn.
Yeah, for sure. No, I really enjoy Falcons. They're
So
really good.
yeah, it kind of gives you like you're gonna get a guaranteed charge off with this Scorpion unit, and they're gonna mess something up. You just
Yeah.
send a little Scorpion laser beam at something,
Big
and then
time.
opponent has to deal with them. If they don't deal with Karandras in that little 5-pack, like they're just gonna wreak havoc.
Yeah, and
And
the
if they
other.
kill if they kill something, guess what? Guess who shows up? Our special friend, the Incarne. You know, like
Nice. Yep. Of course.
plenty of ways. And what I've noticed with the Scorpions, like paired with the Warp Spiders, the range devs, like when they work in unison together, it can get pretty gnarly.
Yeah, I noticed this list of yours has a lot of devastating wounds, which is really strong against high armor. You know, you can kind of like
Exactly.
gang up on a couple units that are really high armor, really high invul, and just wipe them out in any given turn.
Exactly. And kind of like weight of dice too.
You know, and the Falcons give extra, you know, kind of movement range to the striking scorpions in a way because
Exactly.
you know, it's an extra 3 inches, which they do need because other units are just faster than they are typically for getting into combat. So
Yep.
it is a really good. I think
Yeah,
it's a
so
really good combo.
yeah, so I've been infiltrating the one 5-pack and then the other ones in the Falcon.
Right on.
And sometimes the Falcon scorpions meet up with the infiltrate ones, and next thing you know, you just got a pile of scorpions just eating something
Oh yeah, dude. Absolutely.
after it's getting blown up by the Falcon. Well, let me talk about the Falcon for a second.
Yeah.
I have not really deep striked it at all, so I haven't felt the need to.
Yeah.
Mostly, and like I want to like deep strike's cute, but then it kind of puts like the fire dragons in a sus position and out of melta range,
Right.
which is the next unit that's coming in here is a 5-pack of fire dragons.
So
So
my
they go on
thing
the other
about
Falcon.
the deep striking falcons is I never like it because I feel like you said, like it kind of puts the
It
units
makes that
out of
unit
range.
vulnerable. Yeah,
But even if you rapid ingress, you're kind of telegraphing what you're going to do with it to your opponent. If your opponent knows that your fire dragons, if you deep strike normally, are going to be out of range, they're going to know, oh, he's going to rapid ingress it. No, they'll be prepared for that. So I
yeah.
just
My
like
other thing
having a
too is like I'm trying to shoot laser beams at something on my first turn.
right.
When they're not on the table, I have 4 laser beam shots per Falcon. You know, when they're not on the table, and I'm not shooting them on the first turn. I don't know. That just doesn't feel right. And
Yeah,
that's like with Falcon and payload, that's like a good chunk of the army just not on the table.
right. Totally agree. Totally agree. Plus, it's hard to kind of deep strike them in. They're so big. It's easy to screen, and you
And
can
the other,
just not get in it.
and more specifically in this list is like this list is fairly alpha strikey. That's how I like to play, and having them on the table turn one if I'm trying to send the Incarne somewhere turn one or what have you, they can usually blow up a transport or whatever
Right.
to get her there.
Oh, absolutely. Falcons are actually really good at blowing up transports like rhinos and stuff. Anything toughness 9
And
or less.
yeah, they're not the most beefy of tanks by any means, but sometimes they just kind of live on. They
Yep.
jug along.
Yep. Absolutely.
Sometimes they absolutely explode though.
Yeah.
Like,
They're
but
fragile, but at the same time, they're not. Okay, so here's the thing about Falcons and Eldar grab tanks in general for everybody out there. Like, yes, they're fragile against anti-large weapons, but against your basic bolters or heavy bolters, they're fine. They're not going to take that much damage to those weapons, you know?
right,
So,
absolutely, they roll your fives.
yeah, exactly. Roll your fives,
Um,
and then I get a 4-up save, or if I'm cover, I get 3-up save, which you're mostly going
yeah,
to be
we can make it hard to hit too in a pinch,
Yeah,
right?
true. Absolutely. So if your opponent tries to mega bolter you to death with like hurricane bolters or some nonsense, you can
Yeah.
lightning fast. So
So in my list also kind of needs more beef to it because there's a lot of infantry, and I'm not saying the Falcons are the beefiest thing by any means, but they're a little more durable than our infantry,
yeah,
I'd
you
say.
need something that can stand up to bolters basically, and Falcons can definitely do that for sure.
So they're definitely super unique, and I've noticed that if opponent doesn't deal with them, they can get out of control. And when they work
Yes, they can.
together, and you're directing fire together with them, you can like we're gonna kill this tank with these laser beams. We're gonna shoot these terminators with these pulse lasers. I'm gonna shoot this chaff with the shrieking cannons.
Yeah.
You're just doing damage everywhere.
Yeah, and they
Like
can
the damage
differentiate
output on them is
damage.
kind of silly. If you can actually like appropriate your targets correctly, they do a lot of damage.
Oh,
It's all
absolutely.
like chip damage usually, but like together it turns into a little more than chip damage.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then
of course.
if they soften something up together, the payload that's coming out right after that you have to deal with is just not
Yeah.
going to be a good day for you.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they can even hit up into bigger stuff too. I mean, I've done 10, 12
Yeah.
damage to Land Raiders with some lucky
Oh yeah.
rolls on the Falcon. They're really good.
Absolutely. And yeah, turn one, you send a bright lance shot off with the Falcon, and yeah, I'm using that 8 every time. I use that 6 every time for that big
Absolutely.
dice if that goes through. Yep.
You got to do it. Got to guarantee that damage when you can.
Um,
For sure.
so the fire dragons and the Falcon too.
Yep.
That's how I usually run them. With Fwagon. So Fwagon is also on the list.
Nice. I'll add him in there.
Um, I I feel like I don't have to talk much about him. He's pretty meta, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, it's, for those of you out there who don't know what he does, he revives himself. He has a free Phoenix gem, essentially, and he's a better Fire Dragon Exarch. Has a weapon that deals incredible amounts of damage to vehicles and monsters. And he can even do damage against heavy infantry because he has a alternative shot that does, what is it, 2 damage a pop?
Yeah, yep.
The beam
So
profile, or whatever it is.
So this particular unit, the Falcon, is just silly. Like I said, don't deep strike and use them. Like, move up, get a melter range, and zap something.
Yeah.
You're getting the full reroll on the wound. Generally, they reroll ones on damage and wound roll against like monsters and tanks and things. But out of the Falcon, they just reroll all their wounds. So if you're trying to shoot your meltas at something a little higher, like you could fish for those 5s, you know.
Yep.
And when whatever connects, you're in melta range. So D6 plus 3, D6 plus 6. You know, you're hitting on 2. You're hitting on 2s anyway. So if you miss one shot, Eldar reroll. You know.
Yeah.
So
basically
you're basically
guarantee
hitting. Yeah, you're basically hitting, and you're getting. Even shooting upwards, you're getting, maybe sometimes 75% of your wounds in.
Yeah, for sure. They also
And
reroll damage rolls too of 1.
exactly. Yeah. So even if just 3 of these shots get in, like that's something dead, basically.
Yeah.
And then so Flagon in the Falcon too, he has Phoenix Gem, but the Falcon is like a second Phoenix Gem. Like turn 1, he's in the Falcon. Like he's not.
Right, he's not going to be able to
If you happen to kill the Falcon, yeah, you're not hurting him.
Right.
So the next 2 turns, like if he's got 2 more lives. So it's kind of like a weird way I think about it, I guess. But like he's strong, he hits hard. Like having the fire dragons to deal with Terminators too, beautiful.
Oh yeah, they hit hard against those types of enemies, for sure.
Yeah. And anything that they kill, which is whatever they shoot at generally, in good taste, another way for the Incarne to teleport.
Absolutely, you always
And
have
if the fire dragons don't do it, the dev wounds will out the back. From the spiders
true.
Or whatever.
Right. Just finish it off with the warp spiders. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean the fire dragons can do a lot of damage, but they're probably not going to kill a whole unit of Terminators by themselves because of that 4-up intel, right? So definitely need something to finish that
off. My next like guaranteed unit is Farseer on foot. Just the one of
the Farseer on foot. Nice.
Yeah.
And that's just because.
So sending the Incarne off with Fortune is obviously the best move.
Singing Spear.
Then you can. Yep. And then you can potentially make the Incarne hard to hit as well. So hard to hit, hard to wound, toughness 10, half the damage, and your crazy saves and a fate dice save. Like deal with that. You're probably not going to kill it.
Probably not, unless you have.
If you do, if you do, you just shot everything at it.
Yeah.
And in turn, you left the rest of my army alone, which is kind of what I want, anyways.
Absolutely. The only way to kill the Incarne really effectively is just dev wounds, mortal wounds.
That's it. Yep.
Okay, so you have the Farseer in there.
Yeah, and this is pretty much the guaranteed. Minus, like, I've pretty much sold on 5x swooping hawks as well.
Yeah, because they're good. They're good at scoring. They're a great scoring unit. Even at 85, swooping hawks are pretty awesome. Well, you have 260 points left. What do you put in the list for 260 points?
So I've been toying around with a lot of different things. I've tried Wraithlord. I've tried, Vipers. I like the Viper, but I also don't. Like, I feel like I can get away without it if I want. Death Jester's been sick. Also, meh. So, but the Death Jester also kind of fills a lot of gaps, and it adds to the dev wound count.
Right.
But if we add the Death Jester here, we got to take away fates from the wayleaper, so I don't really want to do that.
Yeah.
I've been on the fence with him. I think he's great, but I also think I don't really need him.
Right.
I've run like a 5-pack of Rangers here. I like the Rangers. I'm not specifically sold on them, but I think they're good.
Yeah. Do you want to throw them in there? Or?
But kind of like, no. Here's the other piece. Is kind of what I'm really looking at that I want to put in here is the links. A 1x links.
Oh, the links. Let's put that in there. For sure, dude.
That's a big chunk of points. So
180.
Let's see what we're working with after.
The links. We got to give it a Brightlands too.
Oh yeah.
So we got the links. So what's your strategy with the links?
The links is just so nasty. So basically, I'm running all these spiders, and we have the links. They all move just as fast, so they can just go nuke. Like that goes on a piece of the table. It kills the unit. The Incarne shows up as well. Like that's a whole just. That side of the table's dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're killing probably 2 to 3 units, maybe, potentially. If you do it all right, you're shooting the right targets, you're charging the right things.
Of course. Absolutely.
And that just, in most games, it could just be so devastating to the opponent. I like to do things, too, is like, I'll strip away your speed. I like to take away opponent's speed. Because mine's already superior. But if I also take away your opponent's speed, like, good luck, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. A good Eldar army can not only be fast, but also take away their opponent's mobility.
Exactly, and those are kind of ways you have to play Eldar sometimes, or games in general. Really.
Absolutely. Especially with all these mobile armies now that just full jump packs, full beasts. Like
for sure
they're gonna be on you turn one. You got to take those elements away and find a way to do it.
So I really, and the links gives me more durability, another big piece, and it's probably, it's got a 3 up, 5 up. It's not. It's got what 16 wounds, I think. 15.
Yeah,
16.
Big one.
So she could take a beating too, but also like if opponent you're gonna waste time killing the links, okay.
Right.
That's another
too. Right?
Exactly. So that's another thing I wanted to say is I've been using the fortune randomly. So by the time Incarne leaves, I have nothing to fortune half the time. I'll bring warp spiders back, or like I'll just get the Farseer up into the range of wherever a falcon is, to support the mid board if I can. Nice. So Farseer's been neat on foot. Been trying to find creative ways to use fortune.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Because it feels bad when the Incarne's gone. Like the Farseer's just sitting there, doing nothing, which is honestly good sometimes. But
yeah, because Eldritch Storm is still really good psychic power.
So on the same token, I've been like on the fence with the links because of the points investment here.
Right.
Like I'm spending a lot of points on spiders, the whole Falcon package,
Yeah.
And then obviously the Avatar.
It is 180, but I don't think that's that bad. Right?
Right. Because I think it could kill some stuff.
Right. Oh, it definitely can. And
but,
then
at this point in the list though, it's like there's only 80 points left.
Right.
As well. So like I've run into that. Because there's other things I've played that I really like. Like I've ran 2x5 spiders and 1x10 spider, and that feels real good too.
Yeah.
So I guess it's more of a choice. Do I run like the extra spiders or the links? I think is my real kind of choice here.
I think the links is looking good, man.
3x5 spiders is pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, the links. Yeah, give me a third tank.
Absolutely.
And more laser beams. Oh my goodness, laser beams.
Great fire and fade target.
Yeah. Like using the laser beam to just soften up big stuff to get eaten by dev wounds every single time feels good.
Yeah. I really like the links at this moment. It's really good, especially with the pivot rules. It's great.
Yeah, and my big thing with it is probably like last chance to use sort of thing.
Yeah, you got to use it, man. You got it. Have you painted your links up?
She's in production.
Nice.
Should be done soon. It's gonna be the same theme as the Falcons. It'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be.
But yeah, then that forces me back to just 3x5 spiders.
Right.
I see. I like the 10 spiders though because that Overwatch is so sick.
It is. It is
And
pretty good.
that Overwatch terrifies opponents. The five-man Overwatch isn't bad, but like the 10-man Overwatch.
It is.
So then it gives me two good targets in this list to Overwatch with between the 10x of spiders and the Incarne.
Yeah.
I feel like you need to have multiple things in your list to Overwatch with, or else because Overwatch is so strong, it's just another round of shooting.
Yeah, you need something that can.
Especially if we could cheat it a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is we just auto hit you.
Right.
We could go up spiders and take out a scorpion. But I love the infiltrate. I love that infiltrate so much.
I think you need at least one infiltration unit, right?
Yeah. I mean, 80 points, we could add another scorpion.
You could. You know,
Viper.
I was going to say that. Viper's a very good choice. You have Howling Banshees, technically.
Oh,
those aren't bad.
That's actually spicy. That's
Yeah.
real spicy.
I like Howling Banshees because of the fights first, and since heroic intervention is cheaper now, they're going to be able to fight first with heroic intervention, which is really strong.
Is it one?
Only 80 points. Heroic
How much is it? It's
only
one now.
Costs one command point.
Yeah.
They changed it up. Yeah, it's only one command point now, man.
Then I could use them to support spiders a little bit.
Yeah, I would agree, right? Like when you're staging your spiders and you're going to overwatch with your spiders, now your opponent not only has to deal with the overwatch, but if they charge your spiders, then you got a heroic intervention to worry about too from Howling Banshees.
I guess I'm so out of practice with them though. Like I don't know if I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'd rather have another infiltrator unit.
Yeah, if you're
just
not
to have that board presence because
like that, then don't do it.
Some opponents just have a strong infiltrating and scout presence. And like, if I have my own, I always pick defender anyway, so I can deploy first to get the first infiltrator unit out,
Right.
Make that bubble immediately. But being able to do that back to back and make it that bubble first two deploys, like that's a good zone where opponent, kind of has to stay away from you a little bit.
No, absolutely.
It gives you some breathing space.
Absolutely agree. So you
also move blocking, etc.
Yeah, triple scorpion. Is that what you were thinking of?
Yeah, kind of. Or maybe make that one a 10-pack proxy.
Yeah, that's interesting. But
then we want, Guide or Karandras in the 10-pack.
Exactly, and it's probably better that he's in the Falcon. Honestly.
But not necessarily though. Like I feel like if he's with the 10-pack, okay. He's with the 10-pack, you're still probably doing as much damage as with the 5-pack out of a Falcon. Like for their melee. Because you have the extra 5 scorpions.
Right. Yeah, but they're more exposed. That's the only problem.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you don't have to infiltrate them necessarily, and that's an option plan at that point. You could bounce Karandras between the 5-pack and the 10.
Yeah, you could, depending on the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
I think there's enough laser beams in this list, so I don't necessarily.
You have enough anti-large, no doubt about it.
Yeah. I mean, the Viper would be cool strip cover. How can we fit Eldrad?
I think you have to cut the infiltrating unit, right? Or the hawk. You either have to cut the swooping hawk or warps.
Yeah, I've considered cutting the hawk, but like at the same time, the hawk's utility is so good.
Yeah, you usually score points off the hawk.
What if I cut Hawk and go? Can we cut the Hawk and go up? No, we can't go up the other spiders, can we? 125. No.
Yeah. Well, for 80
This is
points,
this is where I've been kind of getting stumped. Is like this
Shroud
little
Runners.
nitty gritty end of it, you know.
Yeah, Shroud Runners are an okay option. No, they're not going
Yeah,
to do anything
true.
for example, warp spiders, but they would
Half
do
the list. Yeah, the laser beams they would
the
help.
laser beams. You know, and they're also just a
Yeah,
good unit by themselves. They can scout up. They're pretty durable for cost.
exactly. Yeah, they kind
You
of
know,
fill that bill of that infiltrate
yeah,
spot.
you can
You know,
throw fortune on them in the very early. Like if you get first turn, you can throw fortune on them, which will force your opponent to,
it'll also give me some volume fire.
yeah,
Interesting. You know who else kind of fits in here is like Illic.
really.
Kinda, if you think about it.
Well, I can't remember if his ability works if he's by himself. Look, Night Spirit. Let's take a look at him.
You about got me sold on Shroud Runners though. That might be the perfect one.
I think Shroud Runners might be the missing piece of the puzzle there.
I've considered trying to fit Baja in here too. Just gotta let he's so good.
Yeah, he is.
Wow.
He is, but you just don't probably have the points.
He's one of my faves.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's the play. So Eldrad, you get Doom, right? So Doom, I compare a lot to painting a target with the shrouds.
Yeah.
Like the damage, like equality there is kind of the same. The damage output
Yeah.
between
Except
the
maybe
paint or
for
something that's doomed.
torrent weapons. Yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly, yeah. But like that's so like you're not really losing much there, but like getting that fate dice sounds really good. I feel like I've been struggling on my fate dice lately. And only having the Farseer, like trying to alternate them with branching fates just doesn't happen as much.
Right.
Um,
No, that's
Honestly, maybe
absolutely true.
you know what might be cool here too is just Farseer Skyrunner.
You need to cut 10 points though if you do that.
Man, we cut it off the Autarch.
I know, but the Autarch's already where you want him, right? Fate's Messenger. I mean, I feel like if you get rid of that, you might as well just go back to giving him a Dragon Fusion gun.
That's fair.
I mean, I think
Guide
Guide
on the links
is
is gnarly.
Guide is good on the links, but it's not really good on anything else in the list. So I
Yeah, I
don't
think
know.
Shroud seems like the best like
Yeah,
full option then I guess.
I would agree, and I like Shroud Runners a lot, so I think they're a really good unit.
And I won't be losing any Skyweavers.
Skyweavers are more expensive though, 105.
Yeah, I know. Lame.
Yeah, technically, if you get rid of Fate's Messenger, you can afford them.
So like I could keep the Autarch the same way and
You just have to get rid of Fate's
have
Messenger.
Skyweavers.
Yeah.
Yeah. That doesn't sound terrible either.
Although
What's
I
better
think,
here? Shrouds are
well, it just depends. I honestly, I think you have enough anti-large personally on my, you know, kind of thinking. It's even the Incarne can deal with tanks, right? You have Chondra or Fuegan, sorry. You have Fire Dragons. You have two Falcons. You have the Lynx, right? Which is well over 500 points worth of your list, if not more. So I actually think that's totally
yeah.
fine if you want
What's
to
our
do
unit count here? We got
three,
3,
four,
4,
5,
3
6,
spiders,
7,
7.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 units.
I count it as 14 because I don't like to count the bodyguard thing.
Oh, right.
But then I add one for Flagon because of
Although,
Jen.
yeah, truthfully, like, Fuegan could be run separate if you wanted to, you know? He's, like, that
True.
good. Like, I run him
Yeah,
separately,
absolutely.
you know? But,
I just hitting on twos makes me comfortable.
Yeah, no, of course, right? Like you got to go with what you're comfortable with for sure.
Yeah, because you're pretty much guaranteed they all hit almost, unless
Right.
you're just having a bad day, which I
Yeah.
like to sometimes.
Yeah, no, no, of course, everybody does, but you get that free reroll, which is nice. You know, you can definitely run them with Wagon, and they're fine with Wagon. You know.
Yeah, I think this looks awful striky. It feels good. Yeah, I can scout up with the shrouds even, and maybe pick off something silly and teleport.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I dig it.
Yeah, I like this list. I think it's well balanced. I think you have enough anti-large. You have plenty of anti-infantry. You have hard target elimination with dev wounds. You know, you have objective units. You have units that can tie up and screen. I think you have all the
Yeah,
elements of a pretty
the
good
shrouds
list.
will definitely give me some more screening
Yeah,
options.
I
Yeah.
think you definitely need the shrouds in your list. I was gonna say it earlier, but I wanted to see how the list panned out first. But yeah, shrouds are just good. I mean, shrouds are good in basically like a lot of lists that necessarily don't even benefit from their lethal hits ability, right? Like,
Yeah.
and the weird thing about that is like, yeah, like a lot of people have included shroud runners in their competitive lists, and they may not have wind riders, right? Like, but shrouds are still a good option for a lot of reasons, you know?
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I've seen them just kind of survive the unthinkable too sometimes with that
Oh
invul.
yeah, dude, and they have -1 to hit base.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, 5-up invul, 4 up save, which can benefit from
And
cover.
if I need to do a weird action or something, like it doesn't feel bad doing it with them.
Yeah. Well, it's
But
like they're almost designed for it, you know?
a big thing I like about this list a lot too is I feel like I can do, depending on the matchup, I could do a lot of fixed secondaries if I wanted. Just to have easy secondary game.
Yeah, true.
I hate in general too when you just draw bad ones or like I'm not trying to waste my command points to discard this card.
Yeah, that's true. That's always been
Like
very
the
annoying.
wayleaper's always in the list for a reason because I need my CP.
Yeah.
It's like the sweetest drug in this game.
Oh, yeah, you definitely, especially as Eldar, we're a very CP hungry faction, you know? So it definitely makes sense
Exactly.
to do that.
And there's a lot of buffoonery out there as well. Making all your stuff cost more, all your strats.
Oh, yeah, the Lord of Deceit. Oh, my God.
Dark Eldar
Dark
shenanigans.
Eldar. I mean, there's a reason why they're like up there in the win rates.
Colitis Assassin is in feels like every Marine list
Oh
I
my God,
see.
I know. You know, it's funny. It's like they almost like tried to
Colitis.
like nerf it, and it's like now it's going to be an auto include in every list, like even more. You know,
Right.
I was getting
Which
tired of that
I would
assassin.
too. I would too,
Yeah,
probably. I don't blame them.
it's you know what I will say though. It's so satisfying killing one of those assassins, like
Oh
like
yeah.
dropping some warp
Oh
spiders
yeah.
next to it and just annihilating it. So fun.
Oh yeah. I do that all the time. It's so good. It's like, oh hello, bye, lady. See ya.
It's so funny. Tag a target, wait for them to move, and then overwatch the
Incarne
same target.
teleports. like
Yeah. No, there's a lot of good things happening in this list, honestly. I like it. And the great thing about it is you don't have too many characters. I mean, you have 5 characters in the list, but 2 of them are kind of not going to really work with you.
Another
So,
strange one, another weird one that's kind of cool is actually doing Overwatch with the links isn't that bad.
yeah, no, for
So
sure.
if you get a natural 6, and then you can Eldar reroll a fate dice. You're getting 2 laser beams in for free, kind of.
Yeah.
Feels good.
Oh, yeah, big time. Big time. So, what do you think about this list overall? Do you think this is good into the highly, melee fast meta that we were kind of seeing evolve?
I think so. So like I've played against orcs and space wolves, and
Mm-hmm.
they are fast. The melee hits hard, but like they don't really have an answer to dev wounds. I've found kind of like the
Right.
orcs have their feel no pain, but it's like they don't get a save, and they're just taking like regular saves off of warp spider regular shots. Like they're just dying to that.
Right.
I have enough anti-infantry shooting to deal with horde. Um, Space wolves, they're tough.
Yeah, for sure.
But I have enough laser beams, like even pulse lasers, kind of eat them up.
Oh yeah, big time. But I think the most important thing here that you're kind of
There's a
maybe
lot of screening I
screening.
have.
There you
Yeah,
go. Boom.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was getting there.
Yeah. Okay. Good deal.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
And for
And
those of you guys,
what this list
yeah.
also has is I kind of like to call it chaos.
Mm-hmm.
So like again, there's so much speed with the spiders, the lynx, and the incarn, and everything else is kind of fast in general.
Right.
Um, they got to really play their game correctly. Anytime I see a spot where I think I can just go over there and absolutely kill every unit there, I can.
Yeah.
That's what it has felt like so far. I just can. It's that
Extreme
alpha strike.
speed and
Yeah,
damage. Yeah.
I love going second. Going second is fantastic usually. Going first is okay if I do it right, but
Right.
it's sketchy doing that alpha strike on turn one. So usually
For
I
sure.
play kind of conservative turn one
Yeah,
and just
as you
try to
should as an Eldar.
play conservative, move the falcons up, get some laser beam shots off.
Yeah.
The
No,
next
absolutely. First few turns
turn
should
two
always
usually
be
the falcons are
conservative.
kind of in a spot to go and go off on turn two. So
Yeah.
usually turn two, that alpha strike all together, way more devastating. Another reason I like to go second. Opponent moves up, they're way more in my range to do stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of what we've been doing. I dig it. I think it'll be good.
Yeah, I like the list. And by the way, for any Eldar player who's struggling in this melee meta, I did a short video on, I guess not that short, but I did a video on how to beat melee armies. And it's really just comes down to screening properly. It may not seem like it, but screening is the most important tool you can ever learn as an Eldar player, and that has gone back since pretty much third edition. I mean, it's always been a thing, right? Like where you have to use your unit sometimes to screen out an enemy unit, right?
Right.
Like that's just how it's always been.
Yeah,
Especially, gosh, especially
I, d-
back in third.
I don't.
Because
If like an opponent has Land Raider, right? I
right,
will put that 5 pack of Scorpions in the mid board to just move block it wherever it is. I don't care.
absolutely, yeah. Even charge it. I mean, shoot,
Yeah, yeah,
I've charged things like striking scorpions in a land raiders. My opponent's like, "Oh, you're not going to do any damage." I'm like, "No, I'm not, but I don't care. I don't want to do
yeah.
damage."
I've been starting to learn charging with the Falcons is great too.
Yeah, tank shock.
Yeah, even a random tank shock, but like just entangling units that can't really kill it in melee.
Right,
It's just
absolutely.
obnoxious.
Yeah, they're going to have to fall back if they don't have a stratagem that allows that. Then they
Yeah,
can't do
yeah.
it.
If I want, I can feign retreat my Falcon and then just blast whatever unit with spiders because
Right.
they were in melee. So
Yep, absolutely. It's a
it gives
great
me
way of
time to
locking
deal with it.
units down. Yeah, agreed. I mean, falcons are very versatile. They can do a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, I think this list maximizes our movement jank too.
Yeah, it does. I really like that about it.
The lynx
The
moves like
links, my
40
God.
inches.
Yeah, that's gonna be crazy. You're gonna get so many people like upset at that, bro. Like,
It's all right.
you're gonna get somebody, I
The
guarantee,
the
who's
things
gonna get
they've done to
upset.
me over the years, I'm
Yeah.
okay with it.
You know what's
Like
crazy?
I'm okay with
It's like, it's tournament, it's competitive play, but it's like people still get angry at that cheese stuff. And it's like, you gotta read the room. I mean, they're
it.
pretty
Yeah.
sweaty. I mean, literally sweaty. I mean, people are sweating at these events. I mean, you know what I'm
So
saying?
my power move is before game starts, every single game, I put on deodorant right in front of
Right.
opponent.
I was gonna
That's
say
my
that.
power move.
I was gonna say that. It's funny how gamers think alike about some
And
stuff.
honestly, like when I reapply it by the my next game, I probably need to anyways because it gets it's so sweaty in that room. Like,
Thank
jeez.
Isha that you're one of the people who does that and doesn't just let the
No, yeah,
stink
absolutely. That's in
just
my
fill
bag.
the whole auditorium.
Every game. Yep, every
The
game.
whole convention center just filled with stink, man. Oh my god, dude. You know what? I will say this. I will say
Smell
this.
smelling good is part of respecting the game.
Absolutely. Wargaming is the stinkiest hobby that exists, bar none. I have never been a part of any other hobby other than wargaming, in which you get people who just forget deodorant that day. It's like, man, you know? Oh my god.
Well,
I knew this
thanks
one
for
guy.
having me, Prank. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
no, oh, real quick before I knew this one guy who literally never took showers. It was a policy that he just did not take. He said he had some sort of condition and he just didn't take showers. So it got to the point where he'd walk in and from across the room you knew he was there. You didn't even have to look. You smelled him.
Yeah,
You
that's
know?
bad. No,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. He played orcs too, so
No,
fitting.
not bad.
Fitting. Very
Death
lore
Guard.
friendly. Yeah, I know Death Guard. The Death Guard should have been his other army, but back then that wasn't really a thing.
Should have been. He'd be rolling sixes.
Dude, I was rolling ones to get away from him, but couldn't do it.
Well, I got some things to paint now.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, dude.
Some games to play.
Yeah,
If
man.
anybody wants to play against me on Tabletop Sim, let me know.
Yeah, hit up DeadofNight on the channel Discord. And by the way, anybody, if you guys want to join the Discord, all you have to do is sign up for a Patreon free trial. It's totally free. You don't have to pay any money. You just cancel the whatever it is before you have to pay. But that gives you permanent access to the Discord with people like me, Dead of Night, other Eldar players and enthusiasts, who love talking about all sorts of aspects of the game, whether it be hobbying, playing games, stuff like that. They're definitely down to do so. So yeah, if you're interested, definitely join, and I'll give you a warm welcome, and everyone else will too. All right, man. We'll kind of end the video now, but I do want to say that I want to have you back on for the recap once the tournament.
Oh yeah, yep. We're about a month out, so we got some time. But I wanted to kind of get my lists nailed down to give myself some time to do some finish up painting and whatever. Get some practice games in, especially.
Absolutely, man. Well, I'm here to practice if you need
Oh
some
yeah.
practice.
Oh definitely.
And those Shroud Runners, man, they're gonna.
All right, yeah, we're gonna see. We're gonna
They're gonna
see.
be cool, man. The Shroud
Yeah, I
Runners
think
are
so.
awesome.
I think so.
Love that unit.
Definitely.
All right, man. Well, thank you everybody for watching. I just want to also thank all my patrons and supporters who have, supported the channel over the last pretty much almost 2 years now. And, if you do want to support the channel via Amazon, I'm an Amazon affiliate. I will leave the link in the description for that. Or if you want to check out our channel store page and grab some, Eldar inspired apparel, I'll also leave the link for that in the description. All right, Dead of Night, thanks for thanks for being on, I should say. And,
thanks for having me.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's your show after all. And and I'll see you guys later. Have a good one, everybody. Peace out.